Hello, my name is Kellen Ferguson, and today I will be going over auto detailing and exactly why I love it and exactly how to do it. There's really nothing like a dirty car going to clean, or even a clean car going to cleaner. It's a process from start to finish that really gives a person a lot of pride when they get done doing it. Although not too many people have the patience for it, because a quality auto detailing job will take between 6 and 8 hours. You're either going to have to spend most of one of your days doing it or a couple of days doing both parts inside and outside. But in this, I'm going to take you step by step on taking care of the exterior by itself. So first, you have the initial washing phase. You have to rinse the vehicle off first, and depending on how you're going to wash it, you might use different buckets. I will go over this. The way to wash and the types of towels. So with the initial rinse, broad spray, high power, shower spray typically go from top to bottom. It makes sure all the heavy dirt that's sitting rinses all the way off onto the ground before you even start washing. Because when you start washing and you start rubbing that in, that's going to make more scratches. Now buckets, if you have two buckets, that's great. If you also have one bucket, make sure you're rinsing out your sponge with the hose, or a wash mitt, rather. This is a wash mitt. Rinsing out your wash mitt with the hose in between dipping into the soap, so that you have a good clean surface to go on the paint each and every time. These mitts, as I will show you again, have all these little tentacles. They pick up dirt and they will drag it across the paint if you're not careful. You have to make sure you're rinsing it off. Now, when using a two bucket method, you're going to have one bucket of clean water, one bucket of dirty water. The bucket of clean rinse water is going to have a guard at the bottom, so you can rub your mitt on it. It'll get all the grit out, and you can then go into your soap with a clean mitt. And when you have a clean mitt, you're going to want to wash the top of the vehicle to the bottom. Obviously, the least amount of dirt is going to be on top, because the closer to the road you are, the more stuff gets slinged up on the sides, and the more gritty and grimy it's going to be at the bottom. Now, when you're drying, different applications call for different types of towels. You have your regular microfiber detail towel that you use for windows. You can use it for wheels, you can use it for trim, inside of your doors, inside of your trunk, under the hood even. And then you also have your thick matted drying towels. These are the main workhorse when it comes to soaking up water. And this is what you need to do as soon as you're done. Now, we'll go into paint correction. In this, we'll talk about the way you assess the paint and what needs to be corrected, as well as the prep, the different needs for each paint type, the tools and the polishes needed, and the processes in which to use them. So, when you look at your car, fresh, clean, dry car, the sun's going to hit it in different ways, or lights if you have lights in your garage. If you see a lot of swirls and scratches, you're going to have to assess the type of polishes that you're going to need. Now, Chemical Guys, they do have a YouTube channel. It is Detail Garage. I watch it all the time, learning new tips. They use this, the VSS, Scratch and Swirl Remover, and they typically apply it with one of these, which is a dual action polisher. It goes forward, backward, and around. So when you figure out that you need to get a bunch of scratches out, This scratch and swirl remover is a great tool because it spreads nicely and it polishes out great as well. Now, when you're using the dual action polisher, you need to make sure you're working in small areas at a time so you can see your progress. You can see exactly where you need to go next so that you're understanding how the paint is getting corrected. Now, when you're done with your paint correction, you go to polishing and finishing. Now, you're going to use a polish afterwards to make sure your paint correction is sealed in. And the machine that I showed you is what you're going to use for machine polishing. We'll go over hand polishing, sealant, application, and removal. Now, also from Chemical Guys, like I say again, the YouTube channel, Detail Garage, lots and lots of good stuff, and they love this. This is the Butter Wet Wax. This goes on, makes a good clean wet look on the car, and makes sure those scratches get sealed in, or sorry, the corrected paint gets sealed over so that the contaminants outside, the weather, the sun are not going to harm it. Now, with the machine that I showed you, it works the same way, up and down and around, and with using this wax, you can do a broader area and it really cuts down on time. You can probably wax an entire car in 20 to 25 minutes if you know exactly what you're doing. Now, with a sealant is something that further seals in the wax. This is called Jet Seal. This is a top coat that goes over the wax, that seals the wax down, that seals the paint correction down, and it gives you a great, beautiful finished product. Now with the sealant, you apply it the same way, just use a different pad. So when it comes to paint correction, you have this pad. It's a mild abrasive pad. When you're applying wax, you have one of these pads. It's soft and it will not harm the paint. When you're applying the sealant, it goes on just like a wax. You put it on, you wait for it to haze, you buff it off. And that's simple. It's very easy and a very, very good end result. Like this. I know it's a piece of paper, but this is my car. I take a lot of pride in my own car. And on a sunny day, it is fantastic. It's a beautiful car. I take care of it very much. And that is, in a way, start to finish on how to detail your car. If you have time, I recommend it. It is so much fun and gives you such a great sense of pride. Thank you.